It's true, intelligent individuals are moving away from setting goals, and I'm going to break down the exact reasons why. Here's something wild. Half a year ago, I found myself in my room, looking at a journal packed with objectives I'd set. Get in shape, build savings, launch a venture, all these impressive aims. And yet, absolutely none were moving forward. I was staring at the exact same list from 2 years prior. How pathetic is that? I vividly recall the crushing frustration, wondering what my problem was. Why couldn't I ever follow through? I was executing everything the self-help gurus told me to do, defining SMART goals, picturing victory, constructing vision boards, the complete package. Then, on some ordinary Tuesday, as I was mentally punishing myself over yet another failed target, I met for coffee with an old friend, who now operates a thriving tech firm. I anticipated stories of his huge ambitions and intense targets. Instead, he said something that completely flipped my world upside down. He looked at me and said, "I haven't set a single goal in the past 3 years." Wait, what? This guy built a 7-figure business without setting goals? I thought he was joking. But then he shared something that changed everything for me, not just my approach to success, but my entire life. And here's the thing, after implementing what I learned that day, I've accomplished more in the past 6 months than I did in the previous 2 years combined. The craziest part, it felt almost effortless. So what's this secret approach that smart people are using instead of traditional goal setting? They're creating systems. Now, before your eyes glaze over at that word systems, let me explain what I mean with a simple example. Let's say you have a goal to lose 20 lb. That's great, but here's the problem with just having that goal: it tells you nothing about how you're actually going to get there. It's like saying you want to go to Paris without having any idea how to book a flight or get a passport. A system, on the other hand, is the vehicle that gets you to your destination. Instead of focusing on losing 20 lb, you create a system like I prep healthy meals every Sunday for the week ahead, or I go for a 20-minute walk every day after dinner. See the difference? Let me share a personal story that really drove this home for me. Last year, I had the goal of starting my own online business. I kept focusing on hitting specific revenue numbers, but I was getting nowhere. Then I switched to creating a system. Every Monday, I research market trends. Every Wednesday, I connect with potential clients, and every Friday, I review and improve my services. No excuses, no negotiations. Guess what happened?
The business started growing faster than ever before. Why? Because I stopped obsessing over the numbers and instead focused on the daily actions that would inevitably lead to growth. Now, before telling you how to create systems, let me tell you something interesting. Systems have 3 massive advantages over traditional goal setting. First, systems are stress-free. When you have a system, you don't have to worry about hitting some arbitrary number. All you have to do is follow your system. It's like being on autopilot, the results take care of themselves. Second, systems create habits. Goals are temporary. Once you hit your goal, then what? But systems, they stick around, they become part of who you are. It becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. Third, systems work even on your worst days. This is huge. Goals often rely on motivation, which comes and goes like the weather. But systems, they work even when you're not feeling it. Just like how you still shower even when you're tired, your system keeps running. You know what? I used to have the goal of being more productive, super vague, right? I tried everything: productivity apps, fancy planners, you name it, nothing stuck. Then I created a simple morning system. Wake up at 6 a.m., make my bed immediately. Drink a full glass of water and work on my most important task for 90 minutes before checking any messages or emails. Notice how specific that is? That's not a goal, it's a sequence of actions, a system. And here's the beautiful part: one didn't have to think about being productive anymore. I just followed my system and productivity became automatic. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but wait, aren't goals important too? And you're absolutely right. Here's the key distinction that changed everything for me. Goals are for setting direction, but systems are for making progress. Think of it like this: a goal is like deciding you want to drive to Los Angeles. That's important, you need to know where you're going. But the system is your car, the gas in your tank, and the actual act of driving. You need both, but most people spend too much time thinking about the destination and not enough time building their vehicle. So how do you actually create effective systems? Here's my simple 3-step process. Number 1, start ridiculously small.